I'm ready. We're live. Sticker mail. Ordering custom poly mailers has never. Brandon Lakes, Compassion, 9 days ago. Better than you. Hopefully this is right. Here she is. Good morning, Miss Mary.
Good morning.
You are done with that 75 hard. You
I am.
It, but it's after. It's gone. It's over. Welcome to the party. We are here to celebrate Mary and completing 75 hard. And I went to bed last night thinking about you.
Oh, thanks.
How you doing?
Good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that there was like 75 more. That's what I'm calling it. Like when you finish it, it pops up and it's like, do you want to do more? Like, no, dude.
Do you want me to cuss? Is this a prank? People go. But I think that. Dad, can they come in? It's really a lifestyle for people. Like 75 hard is really not that hard because it's what they do, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'm going to do just mostly that anyway. And I'm like, I'm going to have cake and lay down.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know how to make it to where we go this way so we can both be seen, but. Okay, shut the door. Tomorrow, take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. She said, "Good job, Mary. Thank you."
Yay!
It was hard, y'all. It was hard.
It was hard. The name.
Good job, Mary.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, I think now I can see.
We-
Because you can't see us otherwise. If we don't be. All right. My name is Stacey. This is Chris. This is the lovely Mary. It's opposite on the screen. That's Miss Mary over there. There we go.
Yeah.
And we are reading through the Bible chronologically with the guidance of the Bible recap by Tara Lee Cobble. And it's been amazing. We're so glad you're here. And as important as that, we are also here today to celebrate things called Life Without 75 Hard. And Miss Mary completed that. High five. That's a cheering crowd. Miss Mary completed 75 hard. Did you have something to say?
Good job, Miss Mary.
You're struggling. That's what you have to say to Miss Mary for completing 75 hard?
Hey, JLB, good job, Miss Mary.
Well, thanks, Dee. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Come around here and look at her. Lean in there.
Hi, Dee.
Uh,
How are you?
Hey.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
They worked really hard and cleaned the pups last night, and then they woke up to not clean pups. So Dee
That happens.
was not very happy. So
Yeah.
that helped.
Yeah.
If I did it for nothing other than Dee's like, I have to do this. I can't not celebrate.
Never bring this inside. It's out here. Pass.
No, go get it, baby.
Okay. Well, Dad, I did clean up the poop. There's just one
Marion,
left.
we're not going to do that right now.
Stay outside of the dumpster.
All right, we are doing 2 Samuel 19 through 21, day 139. You going to pray us in, baby?
Father, we are excited about today, excited about your word. We ask that you speak to us today. Help us to have ears that hear and eyes that see what you have for us. We are thankful for your word. We're thankful for the way you love us, pursue us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So what would you like to read this morning, Miss Mary?
It does not matter.
Okay, then
So 19 through 21.
I'm not doing it all.
we'll be right here.
Not doing it all.
Okay, how about 19, Mary 20, I'll do 21, and Mary's got the recap.
Wait, I'm doing what?
19?
Oh, okay.
No, 20.
20. Okay.
You're 19, Mary's 20, I'll do 21, and then Mary's got the recap.
Okay.
Sound good?
Okay.
All right. 2 Samuel 19, Joab rebukes David. It was told Joab, behold, the king is weeping and mourning for Absalom. So the victory that day was turned into mourning for all the people. For the people heard that day, the king is grieving for his son. And the people stole into the city that day as people steal in who are ashamed when they flee in battle. The king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, "Oh, my son Absalom! Oh, Absalom, my son, my son!" Then Joab came into the house to the king and said, You have today covered with shame the faces of all your servants. You have this day saved your life and the lives of your sons and your daughters and the lives of your wives and your concubines, because you love those who hate you and hate those who love you. For you have made it clear today that commanders and servants are nothing to you. For today I know that if Absalom were alive and all of us were dead today, then you would be pleased. It's a lot of assumptions, but okay. Now therefore arise, go out and speak kindly to your servants, for I swear by the Lord, if you do not go, not a man will stay with you this night. And this will be the worst for you than all the evil that has come upon you from your youth until now. Then the king arose and took his seat in the gate, and the people were all told, Behold, the king is sitting at the gate. And the people came before the king. Now Israel had fled every man to his own home, and all the people were arguing throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, The king delivered us from the hand of the enemies and saved us from the hand of the Philistines, and now he has fled out of the land from Absalom. But Absalom, who was anointed over us, is dead in battle. Now, therefore, why do you say nothing about bringing him the king back? And King David sent the message to Zodok and Abiathar, the priests, say to the elders of Judah, why should you be the last to bring the king back to his house when the word of all Israel has come to the king? You are my brothers, you are my bone and my flesh. Why then should you be the last to bring back the king? And say to Amasa, are you not my bone and my flesh? God, do so to me and more also, if you are not commander of my army, for now in place of Joab. And he swayed the heart of all men of Judah as one man, so that they sent word to the king, return both you and all your servants. So the king came back to the Jordan, and Judah came to Gilgal to meet the king and to bring the king over the Jordan. David pardons his enemies. And Shemiah, the son of Gera, the Benjamite from Huram, hurried to come down with the men of Judah to meet King David. And with him were 1,000 men from Benjamin, and Zibiah, the servant of the house of Saul, with his 15 sons and his 20 servants, rushed down to the Jordan before the king. And they crossed the ford to bring over the king's household and to do his pleasure. And Shemiah, the son of Ger, fell down before the king as he was about to cross the Jordan, and said to the king, Let not my lord hold me guilty, or remember how your servant did wrong on the day my lord the king left Jerusalem. Do not let the king take it to heart, for your servant knows that I have sinned. Therefore, behold, I have come this day, the first of all the house of Joseph, to come down to meet my lord the king. Abishai the son of Zeruiah answered, Shall not Shemiah be put to death for this? Because he cursed the Lord's anointed. But David said, What have I to do with you, you sons of Zeruiah, that you should this day be as an adversary to me? Shall anyone be put to death in Israel this day? For do I not know that I am the king over Israel? And the king said to Shemiah, You shall not die. And the king gave him his oath. And Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king. He had neither taken care of his feet, nor trimmed his beard, or washed his clothes, from the day the king departed until the day king came back in safety. And when he came to Jerusalem to meet the king said to him, Why did you not go with me? Mephibosheth answered, My lord, O king, my servant deceived me. For your servant said to him, I will saddle a donkey for myself, that I may ride on it and go with the king, for your servant is lame. He has slandered your servant to my lord the king. But my lord the king is like an angel of God. Do therefore what seems good to you. For all my father's house were but men doomed to death before my lord the king. But you set your servant among those who eat at your table. What further right have I than to cry to the king? That dude, he's kind of sneaky. He's shady. And the king said to him, Why speak any more of your affairs? I've decided you and Zibiah shall divide the land. And Mephibosheth said to the king, Oh, let him take it all, since my lord the king has come safely home. Now, how do you say that? Barzillai? Barzillai? The Gileadite had come down from, I've never even heard of this, from Roglim, and he went on with the king to the Jordan to escort him over the Jordan. Barzillai, however, was a very aged man, 80 years old. He had provided the king with food while he stayed in Mana. Most of those clothes are going to be really wet. I just put them in. Sorry. Mahinaim, for he was a very wealthy man. And the king said to Barzillai, I don't know how to say that, Come over with me, and I will provide for you with me in Jerusalem. But Barzillai, sounds better, said to the king, How many years have I still to live, that I should go up with the king to Jerusalem? I am this day 80 years old. Can I discern what is pleasant and what is not? Can your servant taste what he eats or what he drinks? Can I still listen to the voice of singing men and singing women? Why then should your servant be added burden to my lord the king? Your servant will go a little way over the Jordan with the king. Why should the king repay me with such reward? Please let your servant return, that I may die in my own city, near the grave of my father and mother. But here is your servant Shimham. Let him go over with you, my lord, and do for him whatever seems good to you. And the king answered, Shimham shall go over with me, and I will do for him whatever seems good to you. And all that you desire for me, I will do for you. Then all the people went over the Jordan, and the king went over. And the king kissed Barzillai, and blessed him, and he returned to his own home. The king went to Gilgal, and Shimham went on with him. All the people of Judah and also half the people of Israel brought the king on his way. Then all the men of Israel came to the king and said to the king, Why have our brothers, the men of Judah, stolen you away and brought the king and his household over the Jordan, and all David's men with him? So now Judah is upset, right? Oh, the men of Israel are upset. All the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is our close relative. Why then are you angry over this matter? Have we eaten at all at the king's expense, or has he given us any gift? And the men of Israel answered the men of Judah, We have 10 shares in the king, and in David also we have more than you. Why did you despise us? Why then did you despise us? Were we not the first to speak of bringing back our king? But the words of the men of Judah were fiercer than the words of the men of Israel.
They argue for no reason.
Why did you do that?
Like, but I mean, we do that today too. But like, listening to this, I'm like, is it really that deep? Like, is it really that serious?
Yes, I immediately thought of my little ones outside.
Oh, yeah. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. It's okay.
So Joab comes at David. He's mad because he's mourning his son. Basically says if he doesn't speak to all the people that are going to leave him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then David ends up leaving them and goes to Judah.
Mm-hmm.
And the people obviously, if the king's with you, you're going to feel like you're blessed and you've got, so there's
clout for sure.
Yeah, jealousy. So then he leaves and goes over to Judah. But it doesn't say that he's going to go and stay. I mean, maybe he does, but I mean, you kind of assume that by reading, like all of a sudden he's just leaving Israel and he's going to Judah.
Why Judah? Explain to me.
That's where his original tribe is Judah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not part of Israel?
Right. Remember in Judges when they separated?
They were.
They were beefing and then they separated.
And was that when they went to the house? Judah's not where that awful stuff happened, right? With the girl?
I think it was.
That's the only time I remember.
But that's when the issue started happening. Okay. Was back then. But I can't remember, was it Judah or not? But yeah. I don't know if anybody else remembers. But that's when the issue started. Yeah, and when they started to separate.
Okay. Because I remember them being their own thing.
Right.
I didn't think that was Judah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. The Rebellion of Sheba. This is 2 Samuel 20. Now, there happened to be there a worthless man whose name was Sheba, the son of Bichri, a Benjamite, and he blew the trumpet and said, "We have no portion in David, and we have no inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tents, O Israel." So all the men of Israel withdrew from David and followed Sheba. Why? The son of Bichri, I forgot what I said it was. Bichri. But the men of Judah followed their king steadfastly from the Jordan to Jerusalem. Okay. And David came to his house at Jerusalem. And the king took the 10 concubines whom he had left to care for his house and put them in a house under guard and provided for them. But did not go into them. So now he's trying to make up for what his son did. So they were shut up until the day of their death, living as if in widowhood. Wow. Then the king said to Amasa, "Call the men of Judah together to me within 3 days and be here yourself." So Amasa went and summoned Judah, but he delayed beyond the set time that had been appointed him. And David said to Abishai, "Now Sheba, the son of Bichri, will do us more harm than Absalom. Take your Lord's servants and pursue him, lest he gets himself to fortified cities and escape from us." And there went out after him Joab's men and the Cherethites and the Pelethites and all the mighty men. They went out from Jerusalem to pursue Sheba, the son of Bichri. When they were at the great stone that is in Gibeon, Amasa came to meet him. Now Joab was wearing a soldier's garment, and over it was a belt with a sword in its sheath fastened to his thigh. And as he went forward, it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, "Is it well with you, my brother?" And Joab took Amasa by the beard with his right hand and kissed him. But Amasa did not observe the sword that was in Joab's hand. So Joab struck him with it in the stomach and spilled his entrails to the ground without striking a second blow, and he died. Then Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued Sheba the son. Wait, who did he just kill? Wait, sorry, y'all. I thought it was him. We went to the great stone of Gideon. Amasa came to me. Okay, sorry. Okay. Then Joab said to Abishai, his brother, and his brother pursued Sheba the son of Bichri, and one of Joab's young men took his stand by Amasa and said, "Whoever favors Joab and whoever is for David, let him follow Joab." And Amasa lay wallowing in his blood in the highway, and anyone who came by seeing him stopped. And when the men saw that all the people stopped, he carried Amasa out of the highway into the field and threw a garment over him. When he was taken out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue Sheba the son of Bichri. And Sheba passed along. And Sheba passed through all the tribes of Israel to Abel of Beth Makkah, and all the Berkerites assembled and followed him in. And all the men who were with Joab came and besieged him in Abel of Beth Makkah. They cast up a mound against the city, and it stood against the rampart, and they were battering the walls to throw it down. Then a wise woman called from the city, "Listen, listen, tell Joab, come here that I may speak to you." And he came near to her, and the woman said, "Are you Joab?" He answered, "I am." Then she said to him, "Listen to the words of your servant." And he answered, "I am listening." Then she said, "They used to say in former times, let them but ask count let them but ask counsel at Abel." And so they settled a matter. Okay. I am one of those who are teachable and faithful in Israel. You seek to destroy a city that is a mother in Israel. Why will you swallow up the heritage of the Lord? Joab answered, "Far be it from me, far be it, that I should swallow up or destroy. That is not true. But a man of the hill country of Ephraim, called Sheba, the son of Bichri, has lifted up his hand against King David. Give him up alone, and I will withdraw from the city." And the woman said to Joab, "Behold, his head shall be thrown to you over the wall." Then the woman went to all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and threw it out to Joab. So he blew the trumpet, and they dispersed from the city, every man to his home. And Joab returned to Jerusalem to the king. Now Joab was in command of all the army of Israel, and Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, was in command of the Cherethites and the Pelethites, and Adoram was in charge of the forced labor, and the Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was the recorder, and Sheva was secretary, and Zadok and Abiathar were priests, and Ira the Juratite was also David's priest. I want to know who this woman is. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can't hear you.
My wife muted it. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
She was trying to cancel out all the noise in the background.
Oh.
So Sheba he got his head cut off.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amasa got killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it doesn't say who this lady is.
Yeah. It just says some woman in the city. Obviously, she is, I would assume, is some type of authority in the city, because she, first of all, she was like, y'all tell Joab to come talk to me. And Joab went.
Yeah.
So she obviously has some type of authority in the city. And then she told Joab, okay, I'm going to give you his head. And she went to the people and they did it. So she obviously has some type of power.
Okay.
Ready for me?
Yep. So this one dude got stabbed, got killed, another dude got his head cut off. This Sheba, who was considered a worthless man. I'd like to have your name in the Bible, and that's what it said about you. Now, there was a worthless man. Whew.
David avenges the Gibeonites. Now there was a famine in the days of David for 3 years, year after year, and David sought the face of the Lord. And the Lord said, there is blood guilt on Saul and on his house, because he put the Gibeonites to death. So the king called the Gibeonites and spoke to them. Now the Gibeonites were not of the people of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites. Although the people of Israel had sworn to spare them, Saul had sought to strike them down in his zeal for the people of Israel and Judah. And David said to the Gibeonites, what shall I do for you? And how shall I make atonement that you may bless the heritage of the Lord? The Gibeonites said to him, it's not a matter of silver or gold between us and Saul or his house. Neither is it for us to put any man to death in Israel. And he said, what do you say that I shall do for you? They said to the king, the man who consumed us and planned to destroy us so that we should have no place in all the territory of Israel, let 7 of his sons be given to us so that we may hang them before the Lord at Gibeah of Saul, the chosen of the Lord. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Saul's son Jonathan, because of the oath of the Lord that was between them.
Between David and Jonathan.
Okay.
He's shady anyway, should let him go.
The king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, whom she bore to Saul, Armoni and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Merib, the daughter of Saul, whom she bore to Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Maholathite, and he gave them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them on the mountain before the Lord, and the 7 of them perished together. They were put to death in the first days of harvest, at the beginning of barley harvest. Then Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for herself on the rock. From the beginning of harvest until rain fell upon them from the heavens, and she did not allow the birds of the air to come upon them by day, or the beasts of the field by night. When David was told at Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, when David was told what Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done, David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of his son Jonathan from the men of Jabesh Gilead, who had stolen them from the public square of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them, on the day the Philistines killed Saul on Gilboa. And he brought up from there the bones of Saul and the bones of his son Jonathan, and they gathered the bones of those who were hanged, and they buried the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan in the land of Benjamin in Zelah, in the tomb of Kish his father, and they did all that the king commanded. And after that, God responded to the plea for the land. Boys, shh, war with the Philistines. There was war between the Philistines and Israel, and David went down together with his servants, and they fought against the Philistines, and David grew weary. And Ishbi-Benob, one of the descendants of the giants, whose spear weighed 300 shekels of bronze, and who was armed with a new sword, thought to kill David. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, came to his aid and attacked the Philistine and killed him. Then David's men swore to him, "You shall no longer go out with us to battle, lest you quench the lamp of Israel." After this, there was again war with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbecai, the Hushathite, struck down Saph, who was one of the descendants of the giants. And there was again war with the Philistines at Gob. And Elhanan, the son of Jer-Oregim, what are you looking for?
Band-Aids, Roxy, don't listen, so I had to grab it with me. How are we running out of Band-Aids?
What? Just go back in there, babe.
No, it
That's a Band-Aid's not going to help it right now.
well, it'll keep the blood from like going down.
Look at me. There's no blood.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry. And there was again war with the Philistines at Gob, and Elhanan, the son of Jer-Oregim, the Bethlehemite, struck down Goliath, the Gittite, the shaft of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. And there was again war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature, who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 in number. And he also was descended from the giants. And when he taunted Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shimei, David's brother, struck him down. These 4 were descended from the giants in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. I'm going to have to go back and read this whole thing. All 3 chapters had a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So many things that just happened.
All right. Recap.
I need the recap, Mary. I prefer the Mary recap, but I'll take this. I'll take what you got to read.
Okay. Because, I mean, I can't recap, but we'll let her recap.
No, I know you can.
David mourns Absalom's death, which, by the way, I think, in my personal opinion, I understand what Joab was saying, why Joab said that to him, but at the same time, we got to remember, at the end of the day, that was still David's son. So, of course, David is going to mourn his son, but, you know, whatever. Joab rebukes him for not being more grateful for the victory and for letting his enemy's death weigh on him. David's responds to his rebuke, putting a stop to his grief and going to Jerusalem to appear before the people. But it seems like he harbors resentment for Joab's harsh words. The people of Israel aren't sure what to do with David now. Should they still regard him as king? The response are divided along tribal lines. David's tribe of Judah has one opinion, and the rest of Israel has another. Judah is hesitant about reinstating him, and he tries to convince their leaders to reinstate him. He unexpectedly replaces Joab, the commander of his army, with Amasa, who was the commander of Absalom's army 24 hours earlier. This could be motivated by David's bitterness over Joab's rebuke, or by David's desire to get Judah back on his side. Regardless, Judah reinstates him. This probably feels like a slap in the face to Joab, even though he sticks by David. Once David is king again, he pardons a bunch of his enemies. Shemiah, the man who cursed him, comes groveling before him, and David makes an oath not to kill him. Then Mephibosheth tells David an entirely different version of the story from what he heard from Ziba when he brought David the gifts in 16, 1 through 4. Mephibosheth says he didn't try to take the kingdom away from David, and David seems to believe him. David has already given Ziba all of Mephibosheth's blessings, so he offers to split things up 50-50 in order to honor his commitment to both men, even though at least one of them is lying. He also makes a generous offer to Barzillai, one of the men who brought him food and provision in exile. Barzillai rejects it and suggests David take another man, probably his son, back to Jerusalem with him. Judah and the rest of Israel are still divided about David, but the tables have turned. Judah backs David, and the other tribes oppose him. The Benjamites, Saul's tribe, think a Benjamite should be king. A Benjamite named Sheba calls for the men of Israel to leave David's army, and they do. David knows this is a problem, so he calls on his new military commander, Amasa, to gather their army and attack. Amasa procrastinates. Okay, I want to make sure I was saying that right. Procrastinates, so David calls in a second string, including Joab, the former commander. How awkward. When Amasa shows up, Joab pretends to greet him but stabs him instead. With Amasa dead, Joab resumes his role as commander and goes after Sheba. He besieges the city where Sheba is hiding. He's ready to destroy the whole city, but a peaceable, faithful woman reasons with him. There's no reason for you to kill us all. Just tell us what you want. Joab says they're just there for Sheba, and she promises to toss his head over the wall, which she does, eliminating the most recent threat to David's throne. She's praised for her wisdom, and she saves an entire city. I wish she would have said who she is, but maybe we don't know. Okay, anyway. When David asks God about the famine they're experiencing, God says it's because of Saul's sin. David has inherited not only the kingdom, but the consequences of the previous king's decisions. David has inherited not only the kingdom, but the consequences of the previous king's decisions. That'll preach. Saul killed some Gibeonites after promising to spare them. So David asked them how he can make it right. They want to kill 7 of Saul's descendants. David doesn't seem to consult God on this matter, and he decides it's better for 7 people to die than for many more people to die from famine. God never endorses David's response, and in fact, the famine continues even after the men are killed and doesn't cease until they're buried, which some scholars view as a sign that God is displeased with David's actions. Today's got shot. God takes sin seriously. Israel is suffering because a dead king broke a promise. His sin happened a long time ago, but God cares about justice. He can be trusted to handle those things, which means we don't have to take matters into our own hands. We can pursue him instead of vengeance. We can love both him and our enemies. When we're wronged, God can be trusted to work on our behalf in the heart of those who have wronged us. And when we've wronged others, he works in us on their behalf. He's working to restore all things, including not only our stories, but our hearts. He is where the joy. And that is it.
Good job, Miss Mary.
Thanks.
What you got?
Where is it? Hold on. David has inherited not only the kingdom, but the consequences of the previous king's decisions. For those who have kids, don't let your kids inherit your consequences. Because you have people like me who are trying to work through those consequences. And it's hard. It's extremely hard. So work through your consequences. Okay? Don't let your kids do it. Don't let your kids do it.
I was kind of the recap. I missed most of it, but you said now that David is king again. I remember hearing you say that. So when was he not king?
When he left.
Israel to go to Judah?
No, I believe when he ran from Absalom, when he left, when he ran, they considered him, I believe, they considered him to not be king anymore because he left.
Well, he left with a bunch of men, if I remember right.
Yeah, a bunch of his people.
Right. So he left. Yeah. Okay. So
basically, he left the city. He left the city without any protection. Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So he comes back to Israel, and that's when he was like Mephibosheth, and then tried to do shady stuff. Before we had read that.
See, I don't think Mephibosheth was being shady. I think the other dude was.
I think they both were.
Okay.
Now I'm talking about before, not on this one, but the one before. Remember, Mephibosheth tried to trick David. What did he do?
He tried to get him to be there when he was going to kill his son. Oh, that wasn't him. That's not the same thing. Didn't he invite him to something or try to get him to come to something?
He was upset because of all the Absalom stuff. And so he.
Okay, well, when he killed Absalom, or did he kill another son after that?
No.
Well, when he killed Absalom, there was a part where it said he tried to get David to be there also.
Yeah, David was trying to kill, or Mephibosheth was trying to do something shady to get David at one point. Mm-hmm. But so that's why I'm saying for him, he's kind of back and forth. He's like that guy that, oh, you're gonna be the king, so now you're my buddy. Oh, you're the king, so you're my buddy. He's that guy. But so he goes to Judah just today, and of course they're like, yes, come back. But then did I see that he was who took over Israel?
No one.
Okay. Well,
they were saying that was the whole reason why what's his name? Sheba. That's why Sheba was like, let's just go back and do our own thing. Because she said in here that Sheba, or was it? But the tables had turned. Judah backs David. The Benjamites, which is Saul's tribe, think a Benjamite should be king. And Sheba, a Benjamite named Sheba, caused the men of Israel to leave David's army, and they did. Yeah.
So did it go into any more detail about the lady?
No, she didn't say who she was. No. She just kind of recapped what happened, and that was basically it with her.
So that must mean they never said who it was.
Maybe not.
She had some power, whoever she was.
Yeah. It just says she's praised for her wisdom, and she saves an entire city. Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, was she one of David's wives? Was she?
No. She wasn't one of David's wives. Because this was in, where was she at? What city was this that they were in? And David's wives weren't there.
Right.
Well, she had to come from some lineage that, because then like lineage is, everything were being a king, the power. So she had to have come from something. Like she didn't disappear out of the streets.
Yeah.
Well, whoever she was, we don't know, but and I missed a lot. There was so much going on, but I love Isaiah. I love the picture of this. He besieges the city where Sheba's hiding. He's ready to destroy the whole city, but a peaceable, faithful woman reasons with him. There's no reason for you to kill us all. Just tell us what you want. And she's praised for her wisdom. She saves an entire city. That a faithful and peaceable woman reasoned with an unreasonable man, saved an entire city. I love that.
Yes. So she approached David. Right.
Joab.
That's right.
Joab went to where Sheba is hiding, and Joab says they're just there for Sheba, and she promises to toss his head over the wall, which she does, eliminating the most recent threat to David's throne. She's also hood. She can reason with an unreasonable man, and she can toss another man's head over a wall.
Well, I don't know if she literally did it, because when I was reading it, it said that she went and told the people of the city.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
When she speaks, what she says gets done.
Yeah. So that's why I was curious as to
River.
You're going to have to bend down. Thank you.
Nope, he's coming the wrong way. River, come on. Come on, buddy.
Good job, Zane. Good job.
We gotta show him how big he is from the last time. So.
Oh.
My goodness.
He's huge.
He is huge. He's gotten so big.
Uh-huh.
I figure out what he's a list.
Look at those giant paws. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any other God shots, you guys? Anything that you want to share? Anything that sticks out to you? I don't know. The woman sticks out to me. And where it said he cares, his sin happened a long time ago, but God cares about justice. It's just it's good for those who give up, getting back at people, and who give up vengeance, and who give up revenge and those things when they've been hurt, to know, like, even though it happened a long time ago, he cares about justice, and he can be trusted to handle those things. It's good news. All right, D, hit him with the daily 3.
What are you excited about today? What gets Mo play today? And him and how can you show? of extraordinary love.
What are you excited about today?
I'm excited about
Your hands out of your face.
calling my best friend and we get to no play.
Speak up, please. I can't hear
And
you.
look, it's no play. Is Dad not figuring out my V-Bucks gift card? And that's my excited. No, I'm excited about calling my friend and my V-Bucks gift card because no play today.
Your hands out of your face.
Okay, that's cute. No play today. Is being mad that Dad won't probably that Dad is being mad that Dad will fail at doing it. But my extraordinary love is probably my dad.
We're trying to figure out some connection of a card to a game, and but the no play is not getting mad about it, so I like that. What are you excited about today, Miss Mary?
Excited that I only have to do one workout today, and I already did it. Yay!
You're still working out. You're not taking a break.
I did this weekend.
Oh my gosh, that's even better than you finishing 75 hard that you went back into it 2 days later.
Yeah.
For you.
No play is distractions and love on my dog. Yeah.
Can we see your dog? Can we see her dog? Is it not
Lean up.
Well, right now he has a cone on his head. He has a wound like on his front little elbow. And so right now he's laying over there asleep. I would, but
well, text me a picture with the cone on his head.
Yeah, I'll do that so that way you can see him. Because sometimes, like since he's the cone, he has attitude sometimes, and I just don't want to deal.
Isaiah's not gonna not bring that back up and again. So.
Yeah. I'll do it.
The cones off because now he's got to figure out. He's got to see that.
Yeah.
So
I'll do it as soon as we get off.
What type of dog is?
I don't know what kind of dog he is. He's a mix of a few things.
Is he big or small?
He's pretty big. He's not huge, but he's big.
Mary's dog. Are you? Huh? Coming around?
Did you say God shots already?
We did. All right, loves. Thank you again, Miss Mary, for being here. Go around with your dad, please. For being here with us and starting our week off so amazing. Thank you for reminding us that we can do hard and holy things. And for your wisdom and insight, always a blessing and always valuable to the conversation, especially today.
Yeah. Well, thank you, as always.
Yes. All right. Are we ready to close out, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
1, 2,
3.
3. He's in the
Yes.
Diesel.
Bye, y'all.
Hey.
Bye, guys. See you in the
Bye, Miss
morning.
Mary.
Bye, Dee.